Good day, EDC and knife community, and welcome to the channel. So I got bit by the spider, so I'll be presenting to you the SPYDERCO Manix 2, and I'll share with you its use based on its steel. So for the first part of the video, I'll share my thoughts on its intended use based on the steel that it carries. Steel attributes and information are based from any or all of the information that I get, which are basically Blade HQ, Knife Center, and reports from both Knife User, Knife Basics, and Knife Steel Nerds, right? So next I'll be discussing my thoughts based on the design based on its intended use. So I'll be mentioning, of course, particular design cues about the blade, the handle, and the general design of the knife that reflects on its use. And thirdly, I'll give my thoughts on its fit based on my hand. Of course, as this is a reference material for those of you looking up YouTube for info on the Manix 2. So anyway, I just feel it important to do a hand fit based on the dimensions of my hand, of course, in relation to your hand. And after all of that, I'll be discussing the attributes. Okay, these areas will be if they're for EDC, or if the knife is good for EDC, hard use, or an outdoor food prep and kitchen, and maybe if necessary a fourth category, which is tactical. If I feel the fourth category, I will be putting it in that category if the knife primarily shows a more aggressive personality, if you will. However, as with all knives, as a disclaimer, it is my intention to present this knife and all knives in general as safe tools. Alright, so let's go dive into it now, and let's start with the blade steel. So this is the Manix 2 and CPM S30V steel. This is the steel that the Manix 2 first came out with way back in 2009 with full liners in a G10 scale. It hasn't changed much. Of course, there are other variants, which is the lightweight with FRN, FRCP handles, and also featuring different steels. But this one that I'll be presenting to you, or showing you, or giving my thoughts on, is the Manix 2 in CPM S30V steel, or S30V in short, right? So yeah, I assume, or I'm saying that the S30V does not need much introduction, but for new SPYDERCO fanboys like me, and for the sake of this content, I'll just go ahead and dive into it. All right, so let's start with edge retention. First of all, I still dig this knife in its S30V variant or form. The Manix 2 has come out with so many steel variants or iterations that makes me think that the S30V is obsolete, or an old model. Yeah, of course it's an old model, one of the original models of the Manix 2, but the S30V still to me is a premium blade, and I guess it's gonna be true for a lot of you out there. Me having this one, this is gonna be like probably my first premium blade, and I'm really excited to see or experience how great the edge retention is. I'm just gonna be basing my experience and thoughts and whatever it is I'm saying on edge retention based on feedback from other people, from fora, videos, and the attributes, the stated attributes, or the rated attributes of S30V based on edge retention. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. Really looking forward to the great edge retention attributes of S30V. Okay, and what's next? Sharpenability. All right, so yeah, with an HRC rating of 61, this is gonna be a little challenge to sharpen compared to my other knives, or the older knives that I have shown before. So yeah, I'm probably gonna have to learn more or newer sharpening techniques, but I wouldn't mind that. I really like working on my desk and tooling stuff. So with in terms of sharpenability, I heard that the S30V is not so as easy to sharpen as say a 7CR, 8CR, or maybe a D2, but still, with the edge retention, I don't think that's going to be an issue. If it's still going to hold a great edge even after moderate or hard use. And corrosion resistance. Let's go to the third, which is corrosion resistance. Being a stainless steel, and looking at the profile of this, uh, this has excellent corrosion resistance as rated, compared to the um, great edge retention. This makes for a perfect kitchen use knife or for food prep. Especially with the blade profile, it really looks so slicey. And yeah, really digging how this blade is designed, and how it just looks in my hands. Toughness. All right, so of course with increased toughness, um, I'm gonna have to be a little more careful in terms of beating this around. I understand that this is, of course, I'm gonna be using this every day, but not really gonna be gingerly. But I've been reading also online or other forum that yes, it's not as hard, or it's not as tough as other steels. So I'll have to take care of it. But it's not. It doesn't really mean, at least for me, it doesn't mean that it's brittle or it's gonna break easy when I use it. But it is still gonna hold up to hard use tasks as what I'm used to. But with the assurance that it still is relatively hard, as in terms of a hard use knife. At least I still have some confidence with it. But I'll just probably have to be wary when I'm really just beating down on it, like what I do on my other tools or knives. So yeah, with decent toughness, I guess that the edge retention will still ace it out. Uh, will of course definitely take care of this knife. I promise you that, Mr. Sal and Eric. All right, so let's switch now next to design cues. Um, yeah, so it can be said, or I'm stating it here on my video, that the reason why I fell easy prey to the Spider is from its buttery smooth opening. Right, so you see here that I've already learned how to do a spider flick. But of course, as with all beginners, I started with just the thumb flick, of course, with a thumb hole here, just engaging the action and just feeling how smooth, or buttery smooth as they all say. It just the Manix really just blew me away. When you say design features, you'd think visual cues, but I think the design that I'm driving at here is the action. Really can't say enough how smooth and silky the opening action is, right? Closing and opening. It really just is so fidgety, or if it's really just is so nice as a fidget tool. And yeah, really digging how this thing plays in my hand. Okay, so let's go back to the steel a bit. Let's go to the profile. So of course you'll know it's a Spyderco with its distinctive Spyderco leaf shape. All right, and the blade, just like I said, just simply slides out of the handle. But what I'm gonna move on now to is um, the grind. It's a full flat grind. I have not had a knife in my collection or in my storage to have a grind like this. I'm really digging the full flat grind. really makes for a really slicey feel to it. But even if it is a full flat grind, which makes me wonder if the tip is gonna hold uh, to moderate or hard use. Uh, I'm given that reassurance that at least, of course, with S30V being a hard steel and the thickness from the spine, all right, from the base to the tip, it still is relatively thick towards the end. So uh, even with a full flat grind extending towards the tip and edge, I feel that this is still gonna hold up very well. Okay, what else? That's with the leaf shape design, really digging it. The finger hole, the jimping, the finger choil, the jimping, really could choke up. It really is just great overall for me. Design wise, I guess I'm still gonna just flow through this. Um, this this the shape of this knife, or the shape of this blade, is unconventional for me, as knives normally have like straight lines, but this is just also flowing. And if you can see, I mean, at least with my hand, as soon as I press into my hand, the swells of my palm and the roundness of my fingers, they all just fall into place in on the knife. And regardless of where I grip it, even if I grip it here, like so I could have further reach, it still is, has a good purchase here. The ergonomics, the lines on the back of or on the spine of the handle, it still follows the profile, or the shape of the meat of my thumb, even if it's way back here or way in front. Uh, can't say enough of this knife, as yeah, the design is just everything to me. In terms of the Manix, this is, I'm just wishing maybe I should have just gone straight into the Manix instead of going through all the other knives that I have. I mean, I'm just saying, jimping top and all over, well placed. The jimping does not create hot spots. They're there, but they don't create hot spots. And of course, the ball cage handle, like a bar lock. Um, yeah, it just really works for me. The G10 handles, I love G10 from all my other knives. I like the grippiness, the feel. It really just feels so timeless. The design. I'm now on I'm sorry. I'm now on the handle or the scales. The design, especially with how the G10 is incorporated into this, it just really makes for a timeless design of a knife. All right. Okay, the third part is the hand fit. Okay, I'll just show you first my Victorinox Work Champ. This is technically, or this is really my everyday carry. I have this with me all the time. This, to me, compared to my, let's say, my multi-tools, my Work Champ is really just the most ergonomic that I've had out there until I had this one. I mean the Manix. So just like my Work Champ, which has really nice contours, it fits the hand so well. But the thing is this now looks more so serious, and this one is really just such a delight to fidget with. And comparing it to we're going now to the hand fit. So you already know that my hand width is a good 3.5 inches, and regardless of whose hand is holding this, if it were large beefy hands or small small hand of an Asian like me, it really is just so contoured and ergonomic that whoever I feel holds on to this or grips this will just feel that the knife melt into your hand and just feel like an extension of it. Could just manipulate it whatever way that you want to, and control of it, have full control. Really is an awesome tool. And yeah, short of sounding like a love struck fanboy, I really have nothing bad to say with the S30V or the Manix 2. All right, so where do I fit this? I already said this earlier. I think this is a good ADC knife. Okay, it's good for everyday carry. Everyday carry does not mean that every day I'll have to sharpen this thanks to the high edge retention. I'm really gonna be I'm highly confident carrying this knife around without dulling on me. Makes for a great ADC. In terms of usage, it makes for a good slicer. I feel like I could choke up, like I said, slice. Yeah, it feels like a good. It will also do good in push cuts, with a long swooping belly, not such a really rounded belly, but a long swooping belly. It feels like it's good for push cuts also, as well as pull cuts, of course. Hard outdoor and hard use. Outdoor, yes. Hard use, yes, as well. But not maybe everyday hard use. Just gonna be wary of the toughness of the Manix 2. Might not want to chip it easy, but I don't know. Who knows? With use, I don't probably gonna make a video of this in time, how tough this really is in the end. I mean, if I'm just really gonna be basing it on numbers, I'm just probably gonna be not maximizing the use of the blade. So yeah, like I said, hard outdoor, yes. Hard use, I'm gonna see if it's good for that, but definitely it's good for EDC. Food prep or kitchen, yes, definitely this is excellent for food prep and kitchen with its stainless steel attributes. It's not gonna stain or form rust or corrode this blade easy. And of course, who leaves knives all gunky and seeded with meat juice or whatever fluids or liquids, if you don't clean them. But I would say this is also safe for food or kitchen use. And yeah, I won't go into the fourth category as it really just looks like a nice blade. It's a beautiful blade. Personality wise, it doesn't look menacing. So yeah, I don't think tactical is a category that I would fit this into. So yeah, EDC, this is good for EDC. Yes, good for outdoor, of course, because of the blade. Hard use, I'm gonna check, but yeah, a knife is a knife, right? So I guess I'll probably just excuse me, find an opportunity, either intentional or by accident, that I'll be using this probably for hard use. And food prep or kitchen, yeah, this is definitely safe in the kitchen or exposed to food and acid and corrosive, like fruit acids, and juices and stuff. And just as a clarification, when I say hard use and beating it with stuff that I normally do, I won't have problems, or I won't have fears using this for hard use on, let's say, fibrous or other materials. But of course, I'll just be gingerly about putting this against more abrasive stuff. Maybe I'll check how the edge how the edge retention holds up to maybe harder objects like maybe stone or metal. But with other stuff like organic stuff and fibrous materials, wood, plastic, I'm pretty confident that the S30V will hold up its shape and edge. So yeah, with that said, and with that said goes to the with that said jar. So these are my thoughts on the SPYDERCO Manix 2 in S30V blade. Stay safe and peace out.